All right, today we're going through the walkthrough of the Dark Knight beat. So there's an artist I work with, my homie Q Dig. Shout out to Diggs. He sent me this beat and he's like, "Yo, can you remake a beat like this, like with this vibe, these type of drums?" I'm like, "Yeah, let me give a stab at it." So I'm gonna play an example of the beat he sent, the reference, and then play some of what I created. So check this out. So this is the reference. All right, so the main part in there is, of course, the drums, the drum style, and then the strings. So trying to nail that vibe. And then of course you got like that vocal in there over it. Now, I started off with a couple different sub basses. So let me play an example of what I made from that. So check this out. So this is my version of that. So that's my version of that, and it came out a lot better. I was really, really happy with it. He hit me the next day and was super excited over what I did. He said, "Man, every time I listen to it, it gets better and better." Because I added a little more nuances than the reference beat. Now, the reference beat, honestly, it sounds like a Suno beat. It's hard to describe because there's like these ghosting sounds within different vocals and different sonics, to where it's like you get 80% of a sound or 90% of a sound, or like the tail in, tails off weird. Granted, Suno's getting really, really good with what it can do, but I wouldn't put it past a lot of producers out here creating beats on Suno and then selling them as actual beats, as just like a normal beat, which I guess in essence it is normal. But let's go and break down what I actually did here. So we started off with the water pluck bass. Let me put the headphones on this. So the water pluck bass is an Analog Labs. So this is the sample I made from it, and then here's the MIDI. So we're pretty much following the main melody, which is just 4 notes, and then it's giving us this. Now, if I play the MIDI, it's pretty similar. We gotta unmute it first. So Analog Lab, water pluck bass for that first part. And then if we go to the second part, so this is just what I consider a bass, but it's a hip hop drone. So this is in the hype plugin. This is an air plugin or a Kai instrument. So this gave us this. This one's really, really dope. I love this one. So I even like benchmarked it so I know next time to use it. So that hype plugin's dope. I got that for free with the purchase of a Kai hardware. All right, so the next one is our Mellotron. So this is our main leading instrument. So this is the Mellotron. It is Alturia's Mellotron. And if we go into the MIDI, so it's pretty much the same. It's the same melody. Everything's following the main melody. The keys are played different variations. This is the main mellotron. So this is like the driving sound of the main of the beat. And then I custom made this instrument. So I made like 3 or 4 different strings. And this is the 4th string version I made. And then the last string we added is strings, which I titled Violin Dark Night. So this is a string from Analog Labs, and then this is what this sounds like. Same melody. Strings are played a little bit different. And then we have this choir vocal over everything right here. Now all this is everything sampled out because I sampled it all out to save on processing power. But if we go into Halion Sonic, so this is Steinberg, yeah. Steinberg VST that I bought like a year or so ago. Just like all vocal choirs. So we played just like a little simple melody following the main notes. And then this, we're just running through some EQ. LA2A2 compressor. Okay. H delay. My favorite delay. And it's a Valhalla reverb. With all that off, it sounds like this. Super plain. So all that makes a difference. That delay and the reverb. And then even like the EQing. So that's giving us that little vocal that just comes in on the hook. And then we have this Vox right here that I pulled from J Cactus sample pack. And then that's going through a gang of delay and reverb. So different reverb or delay settings and then more reverb on that one. So that's a prevalent sound in there. If you take that out, then it kind of takes away a lot of the beat. And then on the master end, so for my master, it's pretty much the same chain, just altered a little bit. So we're using the UAD Ampex ATR 102 tape saturation, which is this. Then we're going to the Black Box HG2 MS. This is giving me like my stereo widening, saturation, just bringing it alive a little more. Then we're controlling it with the Pro L2. And then at the end of the chain, we have high fall. Now, I've talked to Ryan Schwab via like messaging. Shout out to Schwab Digital, bro. So this is like a very like simple plugin. It doesn't do much. It just makes what you have there already, like what you already have, sound better. A lot more controlled, a lot more bright. So this is basically like a brightening tool for me. He said put it before the Pro L or before your limiter. I found that it sounds best for me putting it after limiter. I've tried it back and forth, but this high fall is bringing a lot of detail and definition to like the high frequencies or mid to high frequencies. So that thing's really, really dope. You got to use it sparingly though. Too much is going to sound overprocessed. And that's pretty much it. That's everything on there. And then on the drums, so break this down real quick. Let's loop this. So kick drum. So I'll show you what I did on the kick. So it's a Bolo from Bolo's 2025 kit. It's kick number 4. Now this thing has like a lot of crunch. So I was running it through Go Clip Track and then Decapitator. But I took Go Clip Track off. I really, really didn't need it. So we're just going through Decapitator. Now if we take Decapitator off, so that's just a kick with no decap. If we run it just through Go Clip, Go Clip's not much. So that decapitator's turning a standard kick into something way more punchier. Then we added in, I made a Dark Knight snare. So I found, can't remember, I think the snare came from a Don Cannon kit that I bought this year. Shout out to Don Cannon. And then the snare's going through compression, EQ. We're dipping down some frequencies and then boosting some, and then some reverb. Now I said I'd never use reverb on my snares. Rarely, like 80% of the time I don't use reverb. But without reverb, so the original snare in the reference has reverb on it, so I'm trying to match that vibe. So we're putting reverb on it to try to match that vibe. And then we layer that with some like hats that's pretty much dancing. So hat 8. I think this came from a Don Cannon kit, because a lot of Don Cannon's drums have this space at the beginning. Then it had this open hat. This comes in twice. Nice little bop. Then you got this lo-fi sharp hat. That's constant. But then we made sure we changed the velocity. So one velocity loud and one light. So it does like this bouncing motion. That velocity is real important. Then we got another open hat. Took me a minute to get this bop down. Once I locked it in, and then you have this open hat at the beginning, it just hits once. Once every like 8 bars. I think that's once every, no, that's once every 4. Then you got the crash once every 8 bars. This crash right here. And then for the one shots, we have these. So it's like a reverse bass, or like a riser, and then a spirit riser. And then that like gives you your little bit of ear candy, your little bit of flavor as the beat's playing. And then the last thing I added was this synth bass. So this is from the Moto D through SoftTube. That Moto D uses a lot of processing. That's why I had to like delete it from the session. But it's literally the best synth, one of the best synths that I have. Like that, you take that out, it's what I call Stranger Things synth. But if you take that out, that's a lot of energy gone from the song. So adding that in gives you that energy. And then I do these little breaks to where I pull a lot of stuff out. But basically you need ebb and flow in a song. You need highs and lows, ups and downs. And it's the producer's job to make all that flow nicely through the whole song. And then it's the artist's job to do the same or ride that wave. And now we're grooving. Now if we take the master chain off, this is what it sounds like. So that's with the master off. Granted, yeah, it gets louder because it's not being controlled now. But it's not as dimensional, it's not as wide. So if I turn the master back on, Yeah, and that's the beat breakdown. Like I said, I made this for Q Diggs. Shout out to Diggs, man. And then that J Cactus like bell, reverse bell. That was real important because that's a significant sound in the change up or the breakdown of the original beat. So it took me a minute to find that, but once I found it, then we was locked in. And I didn't go too crazy with like melody change ups. I mirrored the main melody from the reference and then just rolled that out. And then the main violin and strings, we pretty much were not playing them during the verse. We're saving those from when the hook comes in. And that's the beat. Let me know what you think, man. Hit in the comments. Did you freestyle to this? Did you rock to this? I know I can. We got a couple projects in works, and I'm pretty proud of what we got coming. Like I said, my stuff, I don't rush it. I take my time cooking to make sure it comes out A1 when it's done. Like I want it to be stellar as I can make it. I'm not the best in the world, but I do my damnedest to make this stuff sound phenomenal, man. But yeah, that's the beat. That's the Dark Knight beat. And we ride it out just nice and easy. It's your boy D, man. I'll holler at you guys. I'm out of here.